Champ select, I guess I'll switch over. Oh, never mind, I just switched over.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the playoffs of the Wisconsin High School Esports Association's League of Legends League, which is one of my favorite phrases to say. I'm Jarl Carl, joined by Zombro, as we have EdgeWood taking on Union Grove.
Yes, hello everyone. Yeah, an exciting matchup here that we have. This is the first week of playoffs, so we are now getting into, I believe it's elimination, correct? You lose and you're just
Yes.
out. Yes.
Yeah, somebody's going home today.
Yeah.
Could be the last game for one of these teams.
Until the next season, hopefully. We'll be able to see him back.
This is true. This is true. It's an ongoing cycle, but potentially the last game.
Yeah, last game of the
It's not
season
even
for him.
potentially. It's the last game for somebody, that's for sure. But anyway, we'll set the stage just a little bit as we are in Champ Select. It is EdgeWood, the sixth seed, taking on Union Grove, who is the 11th seed. So a 6-11 matchup. EdgeWood is on the red side for this game, and Union Grove will be on the blue side.
Yeah, so it seems like the red side is going to be favored here. Looking at the bans, it's always an interesting setup. We always talk about this every single week. But you do have the Katarina and Vladimir bans, specifically targeting mid lane, which makes me a little bit curious about what the U.GGs look like for those. Those are usually like one-trickable champions, so definitely good bans if the enemy team does play them. The Jinx and Kayn bans are both hard carry champion bans, which is nice. And we will see the Kog'Maw first pick here. This is... Oh man, with the new patch and updates with the items, Kog'Maw is really good right now. So we will see what they're going to be countering with this, because now this puts EdgeWood in a very precarious situation because Jinx is banned, which is the other hyper carry, which means you'd want to match it. Azeri with the new items. That's an interesting pick.
Zeri with the new items. I think she's reasonably good, is my understanding. I'm very excited about the new item changes. The first week we have those in play since the patch came out a day late. But like you said, Kog'Maw incredibly strong, almost 54% win rate in solo queue right now. Not a champ that you really want to get in the way of. He will destroy you very, very quickly. So I'm curious to see how they do against this. It is a champ that you just don't win a lot against right now. These new items really, really benefited him.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how we're going to pair with the support, because I'm kind of hoping it's not a Nico support to be paired with it. It looks like it's going to be a Fiddlesticks jungle, though. I'm helping out against a little bit of Engage. And the Lilia and Blitzcrank picked up here for EdgeWood. Blitzcrank is always a good pick, especially into the Kog'Maw, because Kog'Maw's not a tanky champion, especially with new items. He doesn't actually build, much health anymore, even though he used to with on-hit. So now he's definitely a bit easier to get one-shot if the Blitzcrank is able to find a good hook.
That's a great point. I think Blitzcrank pretty strong against all three of these champions, to be honest. Obviously, if you grab Fiddlesticks during his ult, that's probably not ideal. But if you can grab Fiddlesticks when he's not,
Yeah, before the altar while he's casting. Exactly. Yeah.
Any of those times, really strong. Nico also pretty squishy. So, you're in a situation where, especially if you have a little bit more burst than the rest of the team here, all three of these first champs from Union Grove could basically just explode right now. So maybe a little bit of protection will come through from the side of Union Grove, a Lulu or something like that. Or maybe they'll just have to dodge out of those hooks.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll see some other bans coming through here. The Mordekaiser and Fizz ban happening for EdgeWood. Interesting picks, considering you're banning AP into pretty much a triple AP threat already. But that is what's going to happen here. I guess you don't have any tanks, so it makes a little bit of sense. And then the Olaf and Kassadin ban. Kassadin also, just wants to scale up, and I guess you just want your Kog'Maw to be the solo scale carry of the game. And Olaf... I mean, yeah, it's a pretty scary champion to play against, especially if you're like a Nico or Fiddlesticks when you can't CC him while he's running at you.
That's a good point. Olaf into that team would be real good.
Yeah.
Press R and basically kill everybody, whether Fiddlesticks is ulting or not. Swain picked up. We're going to have at least a little bit of a strange champ in the top lane. I would imagine just getting it Swain support.
It might be Nico support.
Oh, that's a good point. Is that a thing? I've
Yes,
not.
I've seen it multiple times by multiple
Okay.
people who
Okay.
swear it's the best thing ever.
I just looked it up. Apparently, the most popular position for Nika right now is jungle.
Yeah, she has a really cheese jungle clear where she 3 camp, becomes a
Okay.
minion, ganks mid, and it is like by like third wave you're in mid lane where neither mid lane is level 3 and you're level 3, and it's cheese, it's stupid, but it's amazing.
Wow. Okay. Well, you learn something new every day. I just learned that. I did not know that. But I think it's support. Got to be support, right? Swain mid.
Yeah, I would kind of assume, considering the Swain was picked right after the Lux, so just going off of basic draft strategy, I would assume it's going to be Swain mid. The Malphite going to be the final pick here as a tank for the top lane. It is a pretty, I mean, Kog'Maw's relatively AP heavy, right? So it's a pretty much quadruple AP threat here for the Malphite to be tanking against. Which, it's relatively scary to fight into that. There's definitely a lot of scaling on both sides, but I think the Blitzcrank pick alone is able to just sway this draft so much where I would definitely take EdgeWood in this situation.
That's a good point. I think Blitzcrank. I mean, as long as you land a hook every so often, the value is really, really high. Kog'Maw, Nico, or Fiddlesticks all should die immediately. If they get grabbed, you could even blow up the Swain, right? Swain heals a lot, but
Yeah.
makes burst damage not as strong. Maybe you don't want to be grabbing the set, but that's only one out of the 5 targets, right? So I think the Blitzcrank, especially later on, you land one hook. If you grab the Kog'Maw, you pretty much just instantly win the fight without really any reservations.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of scary for the set too because Blitzcrank Ultimate can destroy the shield. I don't know if that's something we'll see this game because it's, relatively difficult to pull off the timing wise, but it can destroy set shield instantly. So that would be a huge burst if that is able to happen in a single team fight.
I think that is one of the least. I don't really know what I'm trying to say. I think that is one of the least known mechanics in League is the shield break. Like, it was a big deal, I feel like, when it came out, and then people were like, "Oh my god!" And then now it almost never gets used.
Yeah, and I mean, Zeri passive 2 steals a bit of shields. That's been nerfed, I think, twice now, actually. So that probably won't come into effect too much, but, that's something else that's pretty cool with shield interactions. Yeah. They keep trying to push shields into the meta, but the entire player base keeps saying, I don't want it.
Yeah, that's a great point. We'll see. You got to push that. You see you see the set. I can't talk. Pop that shield. Boom. Let's all blow him up. It probably is quite strong, right? Set shield is huge, and he tends to be sort of on the lower side when he actually finally uses that shield. So that's a meaningful mechanic to watch for in this game, even though it's a bit of a joke overall. It could be quite good here.
Yeah, I mean, Blitzcrank definitely has a potential here for, kind of carrying this game. What will actually happen and what the potential is for it, we shall see. You definitely still have the Zeri carry potential. Most ADCs, especially with new items, are able to carry once the game gets late. But it's a little bit scary for the Zeri because Kog'Maw is going to outrange the Zeri, is able to kite a little bit better, and while it doesn't have as much movement speed, it's very difficult for the Zeri to kind of engage onto this enemy team comp when the Fiddle and Nico are both there to kind of zone you away. So we're going to have to definitely see probably a huge Lilia or Malphite ultimate in order to actually see anything happen from this area.
That is a good point. Late game carrying, that's what AD carries are supposed to do, right? So if you can get there,
yeah,
you can do well. But nothing really feels worse than trying to run away from a Kog'Maw and he just keeps spitting on you, and you're not quite in range. Or you run out of Kog'Maw, you just get kited back. You're like, I can't hit this guy.
Yeah,
it does not feel good. So that's something to watch for. I think the Malphite ult is also just really strong in this game. Alongside the Blitzcrank, it can set up a Blitz hook if you knock somebody up. Right, they're a lot easier to hit. There's a good amount of catch CC. The Lilia Swirl Seed, the Lux Binding, the Blitz Hook, Malphite, all of these things can kind of work together, right? If you hit one, you can hit more than one. And so I think you have to be very, very careful if you're the Union Grove side that you don't get hit by that first one because the follow-up could be quite severe.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll definitely end up seeing what happens once the game progresses. We only have 9 seconds until we're actually into the game, which is exciting. But this game itself just seems like it's going to be a complete fiesta. Blitzcrank usually makes games like that, and I wonder if we'll see an invade this game. Definitely a little bit scary walking into, blue team's draft level 1, but with Blitzcrank, anything is possible.
That's definitely true. I think the urge to invade when you play Blitzcrank is very high, right? So I would not be surprised to see it. At all come through. It is a little scary to walk into this team, but I don't think it's like that terrifying. In all honesty, to run into this team, like maybe if you kill Kog'Maw, the Kog'Maw passive could actually have a lot of value. But I think, Fiddlesticks, Swain, these are all champs that are, if you're invading at level 3, I would be very afraid, to be honest. But invading at level 1, I'm not as scared. I think with a Blitz Hook, you can probably get a kill and get yourself out in time.
Yeah. That is the hope, it seems like. But nope, they're not going to do any invades. Not even a 5-point from either side. Looks like Mongo's just going to go for quick cheeky wards, making sure they're not invading themselves.
It's a reasonable amount of vision expended. Just level 1. I mean, I guess you want to be afraid, but I don't know if you need to be that afraid, to be honest. Especially since you're the Blitzcrank. You're probably not going to get invaded on. I don't know. I don't hate it, but it seems a little bit overeager to me.
Yeah, and one thing I also want to point out is that the Nico is actually a support in this game, so we'll see how that goes.
We'll find out.
Excited.
This is something I don't know anything about this. I don't really have. I can't comment on this. Maybe it's good. Maybe it's not. I don't know.
Look at the double pugs.
That is very cute. It must be said.
One thing I also want to note is that Nico only has 1 potion, so I don't know if this is some saving money strategy.
Ooh, genius.
Or what's going on. I mean, I guess if you get hit by Blitzcrank, you're just assumed dead, and they don't have too much poke, so it shouldn't matter too much. But just
I don't think
to point out.
I don't think that's great logic, if we're being honest.
Well, there's some logic happens somewhere, so you know.
Yeah. We'll go with that. We'll say that's the logic. Well, I mean, I guess I feel like you usually click on just the recommended items anyway, which would give you all the potions. So maybe it actually was a deliberate choice.
Yeah, exactly. Or they just don't use the recommended page, like I tell everyone to not, because I hate that page.
It's remarkably not accurate.
Yes, remarkably, it's almost insane. A lot of zoning happening in the top lane here too, which is nice. Getting a hopefully sizable CS advantage early for the set. Because once it goes late game, Malphite, is going to have a probably better ultimate to be used. Very difficult for the set to actually get any engages on that. As TPBE takes a relatively bad trade here, has a lot of minion waves, already extremely low on mana and health, and set passive is going to heal him up so much already. And so it's not looking great for TPBE in the top lane here.
That early push got a lot done for Luke the 12th,
Yes,
who is looking to go for a little bit more. TPBE's got to be careful. The Haymaker is across first blood, picked up by Luke the 12th. Didn't even look like he broke a sweat while he did it, finding that first kill.
Yeah, I mean, just really well played. First skill in the top lane, right? Neither of them even used flash. It's very difficult to flash away from that as the Malphite because Set can easily follow. This costs your TP early, and I believe Set's not even going to have to TP back here. I don't know what the wave state looks like, but, it's not looking great so far for this set. Or, sorry, for the Malphite. The set's looking amazing.
Yeah, Set looking good. Twists.
Oh, the Blitzcrank quick mix. Maybe a flash forward from Junes! The flash for flash trade, but now Blitzcrank might be in trouble. It's a fully proc lethal tempo onto the Pogmaw here. He will just walk away.
That was very exciting. The flash was serious. He was going.
Yeah,
I like that. Because I think it would have been the kill.
No.
We're gonna have to hold that thought. Falcon Phoenix in all sorts of trouble, flashing away. Luke the 12th gives that one up, but here comes Master Baki.
Somehow that set stun didn't actually stun, and I would be turbo angry if that happened to me.
Yeah, I could not agree with you more. I don't know how that happened, but sometimes the game just doesn't do what you think it's going to do. And
Yeah,
that's like a really fun aspect of this game.
Oh no, TPV might be in more trouble here. It's gonna be the Fiddlesticks walking into lane. As the silence, it's connected. The Fear's gonna come through next. It's gonna be the Swain with the assist. No, it doesn't even connect. Luke, though, running up, has the stun available. Gonna try to connect with this. It will end up hitting. Fiddle fake flash away. Thomas Ennis going for this suck. TPBE trying to just walk away. Uses his real flash and will just live. Just gets flashed for nothing with the gank in the top lane. But, this puts Malphite in an even worse situation because now he's low HP, no flash, no TP, down double CS at this point in the game. So it's not looking great up here.
Probably not exactly what they were hoping for. They probably wanted the kill as well, of course, but I think that's a very acceptable gank, right? Your set's already ahead, hasn't got back to base yet. You buy a little bit more time, you get the flash out. Totally safe lane right now for your top laner. And no flash means a lot less playmaking, especially pre-6 here for this Malphite. So, perfectly acceptable gank. TPBE going to take a little bit more damage. Haymaker, nice shield, gets some true damage as well, and he misses the cannon.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised Fiddlesticks didn't go for the dive here. I know you want to go clear back towards bot lane, but in this current jungle meta, especially when, you're fighting against a Lilia where both of you want to power clear, I think you could get a sizable advantage by just, helping out your laners that are ahead early. Because this is definitely a dive angle, and that could give your set his second kill of the game, and pretty much just take Malphite out of the game entirely.
Yeah, without teleport, you're going to have a really, really bad time if you die again right there as Malphite, right? The wave's crashing, I agree with you. I think if you dive that, Malphite dies, even if you give 1 kill back, right? Say, Thomas goes down, it doesn't really matter. You can shove the wave in, you lose 2, maybe even 3 waves. Your seconds to go back, find the recall on 2-0, and this lane is completely over. We've seen a lot of top lane dominance so far in this league throughout the season, and, sort of set up for that to happen again here, and that dive maybe going to keep them a little bit farther away from that objective of just running over the top lane.
Yeah. Oh, the Blitzcrank hook is going to miss. It's going to be Monger now being in trouble here, as he will be slowed up and is able to speed away with his W. Now Luke is level 6. He's going to flash forward with the ultimate, uses his stun, and will just auto him to death. Nice timing with the ultimate there, and that's going to be, like we were talking about, a lot lost for TPVE now, and it wasn't even with the Fiddlesticks dive.
Wasn't even with the Fiddlesticks dive, and his jungler, Falcon Phoenix, just not there in time. Wasn't able to get there. Not level 6, a little bit low on HP. Maybe would have just been a double kill. So it's Malphite stuck in base. This is a really sad situation for the Malphite, just finding themselves victim to that dive. Level 6 hit a little bit earlier by Luke. Nothing you can really do there.
Yeah, I mean, I believe, as you said earlier, that Union Grove is the 11th seed and Edgewood is the 6th seed here. So this is definitely sort of an underdog tale that's happening so far. Obviously, it's only in the top lane, but the other lanes aren't faring too bad. It's also going to be the double root by the Nico support. Cogbog trying to auto the Blitzcrank. 2 more autos is going to do it with the hook under the tower. He's now going to be knocked up under the tower. Doesn't have the flash to get away. His passive is going to proc. Monger going to be flashing away from that. The Zeri now in a bit of trouble. Uses a bit of... Oh, the Q's not going to connect for Mercy Love, but it's going to be Falcon Phoenix here in the bot lane to secure the kill. A double kill for Edgewood in the bot lane. Somehow, some way, after getting double rooted, it turns around into their favor.
Edgewood fighting back. Not quite enough damage from Jude's Club and Mercy Love in the bot lane. They find a great double root. The opening was fantastic, but they didn't quite have enough damage to finish it off. Jude's Club got a little bit greedy, walking under the tower. There's that Blitzcrank we talked about, the playmaker. Got a hook right under the tower, and then Mercy Love whiffs the Q and finds themselves victim. Fiddlesticks the whole time. Just sort of doing the dragon, I believe. Just kidding, that's the effigy that I glanced at the map and got confused. But regardless, 2 kills for Edgewood, as I think they just tried to bite off a tiny bit more than they could chew Union Grove.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of tragic for Union Grove too, because that play looked so well, and the fact that Monger was able to live the initial play without flash is just mind-blowing to me. I think Jude's Club may have autoed a minion a few times there. I wasn't paying too close of attention, but I definitely feel like Blitzcrank should have been able to die in that situation before he got to the tower.
Made it out. Maybe the mana shield coming through. Not entirely sure how he survived, to be honest, but he did survive, and that led to the hook under the tower. Jude's Club also on the Kog'Maw. Obviously not a terribly weak champion early, as anybody that plays against it in lane sometimes gets confused. Why is this champ doing so much? They're supposed to be a hyper carry. But Kog'Maw doesn't do a ton right early on. So wait for that first item. Once you have the Rage Blade, then you can really start crushing the Blitzcrank. But until that, I think there's no real reason to fight. Right? You do outscale it. You can just sort of play. You're down in some XP. Just kind of hang out. Wait for your jungler as we might have the first fill ult of the game. That was very close. He felt the wind on that one.
Yeah, they both did. That was close to both of them. But Luke here in the top lane does have the ultimate available and the W. He's not going to use it quite yet. Uses the W still under the tower, taking another tower shot. It's going to be the solo kill under tower in the top lane for the Malphite. A big turn of events as the Swain W does not have enough damage to take down the Malphite. But wow, that's very surprising how that happened. The set ultimate didn't even come through at any point during that.
Solo Bolo in the top lane. The Malphite ult after tower aggro was taken. It was a huge Haymaker shield, but he Haymakered still in tower range, I'm pretty sure.
Oh no.
Or at least took it right in bot lane.
Look at the flash away, the double root happening again by this Nico, saving Jude's Club's life, but Jude's Club had to use flash and ghost. He is walking towards this bush though. The Fiddlesticks has ultimate. Send it, Fiddle! Rip it! The double fear! The silence following after. He has the suck available. It should be a kill. Okay, the follow-up flash will be flash for flash trade in the bot lane. It is only going to be 1 kill, but it is a huge kill to get. This is going to be the flash forward from Master Blake in the mid lane. As Luminous was taken, uses his own barrier to just walk away. Flash Ignite from Master Blake forced the barrier from Luminous was taken. Definitely a good trade for Lux, but that was intense.
Summoners everywhere, fighting everywhere, an amazing fiddle ult. They finally baited Twisted Monger in far enough, right? It looked like at the start Jude's Club was just going to take a bunch of damage for nothing, but in the end they got there in time. Thomas maybe looking for the gank on the mid lane to continue the stream of bloodshed. Luminous, will they walk the correct direction? They see the fiddle now. Jungler is here, finds the Dark Harvest proc, Falcon Phoenix, the flash away. Luminous gets himself out, root in the bot lane. Jude's Club firing away onto Monger, just speeds himself up. His Blitzcrank you can just run out of that situation.
Yeah, the first root target of that Nico E just doesn't root long enough to secure that kill, but he's going to be a bit of poke damage, allowing for an easier reset.
Indeed it will. There is that reset. Buy yourself something pretty and get yourself back to lane. Looking at the items, Luke has completed that Blade of the Ruin King, so this is a very scary set in any sort of fight, as we'll see how much damage they are able to do. TPP takes a lot of damage. There's the ultimate. Malphite just desperately running for the hills. Ultimate up in a couple of seconds. Will it be in time?
Oh.
Yes, it will, though. The fight's over, so they have it still.
Yeah, Luke walked into tower aggro for a split second, but TPBE might need to use his ultimate to stay alive here. It's going to be a very difficult chance for Malphite to outplay this. He probably is just dead under tower, but we'll see what he's able to do if he's going to be able to trade 1-for-1.
Find out. Under the tower. There is the ultimate, but the Haymaker shield, I think, will keep Luke alive. There it is. Finds the kill. Well played. That time he was out of tower. Beautifully done. Little assist from the Swain as the top lane finds yet another kill.
Yeah, learning from his last tower dive, walked out of tower before using the Haymaker. Very well played, giving over another kill to the set, who already, as we just stated, has the item. Is looking for... Is that a Heartsteel? For his next item?
We're going to find out.
We'll find out.
That would be an interesting combination.
I don't know what the new items build into, and I'm trying to run through them all in my head.
We're going to find out. I'm right there with you. My preferred strategy is just wait and find out. So that's what we're going to do. 2 Kog'Maws in the bot lane. That's very cute. Sort of obvious which one's which, but that's okay. It's Thomas. Maybe going to find something else here.
Has the silence and fear. We'll just do a little bit of poke damage and walk away.
That was extremely anticlimactic. I feel like I set that up like it was a big deal, and then it didn't. Oh, the hook, though! That, I don't know what happened, but it got a little bit glitchy, and then the minion just teleported to him, so that's fun.
I think it was
but it doesn't matter.
Bug.
Yeah, I think that was. Missed the Kog'Maw. Again, just a little bit off of finding that kill.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of shenanigans looking towards the bot lane here. Fiddlesticks has the ultimate, but so does Lilia, which becomes a very scary game that you're playing here. Swain does have the first move from mid lane, so they're going to probably look onto this dragon, as your bot lane and mid lane do have shoved out priority. Sorry, I tried to say prio and priority in the same word. Didn't end well. As the bot lane, seems a little bit overextended here. It's not a real fiddle in the bot lane. Yeah, it's going to be ultimate happening onto the Kog'Maw. Oh no, it's going to be a double kill. It looks like it's going to be Falcon Phoenix picking up the first one, and the Zeri picking up the second one. So, big tragedy in the bot lane here is that's going to be a dragon probably going over to Lilia this time. As now Luminous is taking a bit of poke. The Q will not connect, so he's going to lose a bit more HP without any trade back.
That was a tragedy in the bot lane. A tiny little intelligence failure, right? They were grouped up around the dragon pit. Their bot lane probably figured their flank was secure, and it turned out your flank was not secure because your team walked away. You lost that vision control and got yourselves taken down. So they thought they were safe, I'm pretty sure. I assume they're just down there kind of farming. They figure they're safe. Twists, meanwhile, in all sorts of trouble. Ghost is available if they're able to get out of this situation.
I think
it looks like they are just going to go down and die as Thomas finds one back.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty tragic. Fiddlesticks kind of just walked into lane and ulted, used the point and click fear to secure that. As in the top lane, we're just going to be hitting this tower. Able to secure it down. That's first tower along with that all played. So now the set is even bigger. And he's going to be going for the solo kill onto TPBE, and he will be able to secure it.
Bot lane fight, though. Master Baki walking over. Monger, can they get themselves away? They do have the flash available. The root is there. Gets pulled in. Silence from the Fiddlesticks. The ultimate down from Swain as well. He is healing and doing lots of damage. Final Spark comes across, but it's not going to do a whole lot. Mercy Love finds one. Master Baki finds the other. As the support and jungle are lost, it should be the dragon now for Union Grove.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how that play started or why Blitzcrank and Lilia were positioned there. I'm assuming just looking for a pick, but once the entirety of Union Grove realized that, they all just walked at them. And Master Baki hitting a really good route onto the Blitzcrank, able to secure both of those kills.
Yes, indeed. That was well played. The ultimate, if you can't get away from Swain, that ultimate is incredibly strong, right? That just the heal, the drain, you're doing damage and healing yourself at the same time. Incredibly strong if you can get on top of everybody. Sort of like Fiddlesticks' ultimate there, and that is still up almost. Nope. Take two, Carl. That is almost up for the next play. So they're able to secure the dragon without needing that. And set at the top lane, picked up the tower, and a reasonable chunk of tower number 2 as well. So Union Grove, a lot of priority right now, a lot of gold in the pockets. They're going to have some resets and come back out onto the map stronger than ever.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at here, as in the bot lane, Wolf looks like he's to take a bit of poke. I thought he was looking for the hook, but Now he is walking up out of the minions. Okay. Oh man, I love watching Blitzcrank play. It's always just so suspenseful.
I'm surprised they didn't force a fight there, actually. The Trinity Force is completed on the Zeri, and the Kog'Maw...
Oh, the hook!
There is the hook that lands. Zeri ultimate doing a lot of damage to the Pot Blossom. Not going to be enough. Twist finds that kill. That Trinity Force doing a lot of work. Zeri very ahead in gold right here over that Kog'Maw. But meanwhile, the bot lane, it's going to be a nap for Luke the 12th. We'll see if that Falcon Phoenix just dies instantly, Zombro. Are you watching what I'm watching? TPBE. Trying to get revenge for his teammate, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Lutha 12, very strong. 1 versus 2 outplay. Luminous on the back foot as well. Union Grove running over this game right now.
My God. Oh man.
She went poof.
Yeah. Lilia went from about 100% HP to, well, I mean, about 7 in half a second.
Yeah.
And then just died to an auto attack after that. That was insane. I think the Heartsteel proc was a big part of the instantaneous explosion, but I don't think that was the only reason why the Lilia just imploded.
that was an impressive amount of damage from at the time a 4-in-1 set. Final Spark clearing out the wave. Luke says, "Hey, wait, my minions."
Yeah, what the heck?
Walks himself away. But this set, we've seen a lot of really strong top laners so far.
I know,
I feel like it's been, oh dear, hold the thought.
Oh, nice dodge, but it's Nico! It was in the minions wave the whole time, going onto the Blitzcrank. Getting onto Jude's Club now, trying to do a bit more ultimate damage. 1 auto attack, 1 more ultimate should do it. He tries to throw the E, is able to pick up the kill, but now his passive's going to get procs to Zeri ultimate, able to secure both of those kills. Definitely not worth it, but it was Nico, so we'll take it.
Like the top lane, TPB in a lot of trouble. Going to be going back to base into body bag, I fear. 1 more ability, 1 more auto should be enough. The Haymaker secures the kill. Luke the 12th is able to find his 7th kill on his march to have as many kills as his name suggests. Doing very well. Bot lane, I think a little bit greedy by Jude's Club, trying to find the kill on just the support, getting a double kill over to the enemy AD carry.
Falcon might be in trouble here, though. Has to use his flash to get away after trying to contest this scuttle. You know, it's relatively even jungles so far. Definitely Fiddle has a bit more KP, so they're able to apply a bit more pressure, but it's becoming very scary now with this Fiddlesticks, especially with this Herald now in his pocket. If he's, you know, ganking any of these lanes, and Herald's right after, if it's top lane, that's an inhibitor gone. If it's mid or bot lane, that might be 2 towers.
Yeah, it absolutely might. Second Herald, if you can find it. Oops. A nice couple of kills.
Oh man,
Vonder's
going to be looking for the hook.
Goes off.
Oh, he's unable to find it through the Herald. The Herald protecting Thomas right after the stopwatch ends. Oh, the bowling ball barely misses too.
That was a very close. That's the kind of bowling shot you're like, come on, I didn't hit anybody. Really?
Yeah, right.
You're feeling bad about it. That was, in my mind, not an exceptional Herald usage. Relatively quickly, I think they still have quite a lot of time on that, and not after an ult or anything like that. But we're gonna hold the thought. Luke the 12th is at his biggest test yet.
1 versus 4 situation. Blitzcrank ultimate was used before the Haymaker. Haymaker's going to come through, almost taking down Luminous' stake, but he will stay alive. The ultimate from set coming through with the sleepy time will give the shutdown over to Lilia. And that should just... Oh, no, there's still a minute on Dragon. So almost took down Luminous, was taken, and it went 1 for 1, but was unable to. So this is going to be a 0 for 1 in the top lane after taking the 1 versus 4 fight. Finally, bringing down the god that is set. And kind of allowing a lot more pressure, though, for his team on this map. You know, Swain was able to free farm mid for a little bit, and it allows this Kog'Maw Nico to sit in bot lane. And, you know, this Kog'Maw, down 2 levels, should not be able to farm, but because the support had to go help with that play top, is able to farm for a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good point. Taking 4 people top lane to kill 1 person usually is going to seed something on the other side of the map, right? And that's what we saw there. On the other hand, they did find the shutdown. It went on to Lilia. Lilia and Zeri, the real ways you're going to get back into this game. So from the point of view of how do you get back in this game with your Edgewood, that was a great first step. It could have gone a lot better for Luke the 12th. He could have found more kills. In that, found some sort of trade. But as it happens, a pretty good result for Edgewood. If they want to get back into the game, that's the kind of play they need. I'm not entirely sure Zeri is able to carry it.
There's TP behind from set here. We're going to have a huge play under the tower. Lilia has caught out set. It's going to be huge. Fiddle ultimate actually fears both of them. Silence on the Monger. Should be able to secure that kill. It's going to go over to Master Blake. As now they're both really weak under the tower. They're just starting to tank it. Twist now going to die to the burn from Fiddlesticks. Falcon Phoenix. There is nothing you can do in this situation. He is trying to run his best, but the smite from Fiddlesticks will secure the kill. Has to flash out because he tanked aggro. Dodges the Lux Final Spark. And, whew. Speaking of 4-man plays, I raise you 1 and add 5 to the bot lane.
Luminous has been taken on a journey with the showstopper.
He lives!
Actually, is going to live. I tell a lie. I got so excited Luminous able to walk away, but regardless, in a front-to-back team fight with 5 items, maybe Twists can do something about Luke the 12th, can do something about this team. By getting Doe over to the tower, this Zeri has virtually no chance to achieve anything. The set's just going to walk under, smash you in the face, and it's over. And that is what happened there. A nice clean-up under the tower, pick up that tower, they pick up the dragon as well. Union Grove looking primed for the upset here.
Yeah, I mean, just really good play under the tower there. That Fiddlesticks ultimate barely hit both of them, which is, I think, the big turning factor of that play. Yep. The double fear and the silence to follow up, taking Blitzcrank out of it where he can't even use his, only ability, is a huge part of what happened there.
Absolutely is. We see Final Spark used again, just to try to clear out that minion wave a little bit in the mid lane. Union Grove applying some pressure. Baron is now on the map, so we'll see when the teams start to move towards that one. I would imagine it will be at least a few minutes. Jude's Club is still farming up in the bot lane, trying to get this Kog'Maw back sort of on curve. The bot lane has essentially been the one sacrifice Union Grove has made this game. They've been focusing so strongly on the top lane. Bot lane's been a little bit out of it. They've taken a few unfortunate fights, trying to get that Kog'Maw back into it. But if he is able to get 3 items, even if the other team has 5 items, that Kog'Maw will still do a lot of damage. That champion is very strong.
Yeah, I mean, Kog'Maw also kind of negated the level advantage quite a bit. Was down 2 levels, now even on the level.
That's a good point.
I'm assuming Zeri's a lot closer to level 12. Oh, but it was a Nico in the minion wave! And, I mean, this should just be a dead Luminous was taken. It's going to be the flash-for-flash trade, but there's just nowhere you can run. It's going to be the second ultimate crafting from Master Bank here. Nico ultimate going to knock up Falcon Phoenix, and should just be a double kill for Master Blake in the mid lane. Nico moment. Amazing.
That was amazing.
And in the bot lane here, they cancel their backs. Jude's Club should just be dead here.
But they're onto the Baron. So this is a tale of 2 maps. No!
Oh, the hook's going to miss. The knockup will connect. It's going to be slowed by the... Oh, wait, my screen just plugged out.
Able to get himself taken down. Twists finds that kill. They're onto the Baron. Into the pit goes TPB, trying to stop this one, but it's not going to be enough. Luke the 12th finds that kill as Baron picked up for Union Grove. The bot lane sacrificed. A perfect metaphor for this game as they look to close this one out. What I was saying before that is I feel like the Nico not showing on Spectator where there's a Nico is very confusing for when fights are happening. You have to pay really close attention to the whole map. I mean, obviously that's what happens when you play the game, but watching the game, you got to figure out where she is, and that's not always so easy.
Yeah, no one wants to count every single minion wave that walks at you. That's boring. That's not fun.
I have not played against this Nico yet, and I'm scared to because it doesn't sound fun.
It's fun to play.
Okay.
I've played a lot of it mid lane so far, and you just never appear anywhere until the enemy team realizes it's too late.
I might have to try it out. It sounds fun. It looks cool. So
just another thing that's like, what if we just ruined the gameplay design of League of Legends to have a cool mechanic in it? And that's what they did.
Yeah, it takes her original idea sort of to a new height.
Yeah,
I think we could politely say, potentially. But as we go into the game, Baron is on. Luke the 12th could be in a bit of trouble. We've seen this go badly for Falcon Phoenix before. I'm excited to see how fast this Lilia dies.
Well, within 2 autos, half HP. I'm going to go in. Ultimate from set should be able to secure the kill. Flash away, not going to save you because you're slowed. Luminous was taking, just trying to clear the wave. TPBE in a little bit of trouble here. Uses his ultimate to try to keep Luke in place, but Luke is able to flash away. TPBE flashing forward. He has the slow root from Lux will connect. Haymaker able to shield a lot of this Lux damage, though. His Fiddlesticks is here now. Ults over the wall. The 2-man fear.
Wow.
Luke baited them both in beautifully. And in the bot lane looks like a horrible play for the red team also, as he's going to be Master Fake, taking both of them on a journey towards himself. It will be the trade for Kog'Maw, but yeah.
Once again, the sacrifice.
Yeah.
Kog'Maw taken down. You feel bad for him. I think this will be the end of the game. I think they can push to win here. One inhibitor taken down. The bottom lane one as well, as everybody's alive except the Kog'Maw, who would do some strong tower damage, but I don't think you need the Kog'Maw necessarily to take these ones down. First Nexus tower is under threat. Inhibitor in the bot lane goes down as well. The Flea is on the fear. Taken down. The deer has been feared. Fear the deer. There's a Bucks joke in here, but I can't find it in time. So the second tower taken down, as it will be Union Grove.
This guy Cook under the Nexus!
First game of the playoffs. On the Nexus goes the set. That's not what you want to see, but the Minions will do it and end the game. Union Grove are moving on.
Yeah, wow. I mean, what a match. That was so close until I think the bot lane dive is when the game just spiraled out of control.
Yep.
And it's always hard to like predict when that stuff's going to happen too. Becomes relatively annoying to try and deal with. But wow, I mean that was a really good
Yeah,
match. I would say that was overall really well played by both teams.
I agree. That was a quality game of League of Legends. I think we saw an incredibly well played top lane, a well piloted set, which we've seen a lot of sets do a lot of stuff um, in this league so far. A lot of top lane carrying going on. Overall, pretty good team play, I thought, by Union Grove. They looked like a pretty strong team, overcoming a higher seed, EdgeWood, who had a pretty good season. So well played by them. Excited to see what they can do in the playoffs going forward, and commiserations to EdgeWood as well. But overall, a pretty solid game. That dive sort of spiraled the game out of control.
Yeah, I mean, it was the Zeri was in a prime position to carry until that, and then Kog'Maw got back into the game because of that too. So he was able to do a bit more damage in team fights. One of the targets you have to now start focusing because of that. And as I was talking about earlier, it's very difficult for Zeri to make any play into a fiddlesticks, into the Nico. You just can't walk forward into those champions.
Yeah, you can't. You're going to get taken out, and the Blitzcrank, never really got to a stage in this game where the Blitzcrank could have that major effect, right? Of, late game team fight, we're all set up, we're ready to go, we're skirmishing, boom, hook on a Kog'Maw, we win the game. It just didn't really turn out to be that kind of game. We said earlier you don't want to grab Set, and Set was the main character, had main character energy in this game, was the most fed. So, you weren't really able to grab a priority target because the one priority target is the one you can't grab.
Yeah, it's just very unfortunate too. We also never saw the interaction of Blitzcrank Ultimate with the set shields. I don't know if it would have done too much, but I know at that bot play, just the Blitzcrank dying immediately and the set able to just kind of do whatever he wants in the back line there. It was so sad. But yeah, you can send us off, as I think that's everything to talk about.
Absolutely. Thanks everybody for watching. This has been the first week of playoffs. We have one more week coming your way next Wednesday, followed by our finals on June 3rd at Carthage College, where we will crown our Wisconsin High School Esports Association champions in all of our games. So thank you all for watching. This has been Jarl Carl and Zombro casting some League of Legends playoff week 1. We'll be back next week with